All right. Everyone, welcome to the Build Your Own World Blender Workshop.
Wow.
Yes.
Wait, why does this sound so familiar?
This is not your 61B project. But yes, 3D MA Club is finally doing a nice little event on Blender. So my name is Rain, and this here. And we're going to be talking about Blender. So step one, download Blender.
You made us.
Yes, I'm sure you guys already have Blender already. So thank you for that. And then we're going to talk about Blender real quickly.
So Blender is a free open source software that will be like free forever. It has like advanced capabilities in like modeling, rendering, and everything basically. It's not the best in anything, but like it can do everything basically, and it also has like video editing capabilities and stuff.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
Video editing is actually super good on this. Sometimes if I don't want to open up iMovie, I actually use Blender.
That's great.
Yeah. To edit videos.
Oh yeah, because the Blender video.
Yeah. It also has advanced compositing as well. So instead of opening up After Effects, you can actually open up Blender. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So Blender has a lot of things built into it. Also has sculpting, rigging, animating. And something that's really cool about it is that because it's open source, it's constantly changing over the years very, very quickly. So the things that were available in 3.5 are now even way better in 4.2, which is the current version that we will be using today. So to start it off, we're going to just show you one of the more recent demo reels by Blender 4.0.
That looks like
So something I think that Blender sets apart from all the other software is the amazing shading styles that you can do. As you saw in the video, like every single animation had a different type of shading. So the creativity is endless. And another fun little fact about Blender is that it's being used in movies as well. Like Evangelion, the most latest movies, use Blender for some of their 3D animations, and I think that's super cool. Yes. How do I go next? Okay. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so we're trying to make like a low poly build your own world thing today, where you basically make some kind of landscape. It can be whatever you want, but like, so like on the rightmost you can see like it's kind of a mountain with a river. I made the one in the center just like 2 hours ago, so it's like sort of like a winter wonderland. And yeah, so this is like just a very simple project, and like get you up to speed with like modeling things, and pretty easy to set up like the materials and stuff for this too.
Yes. So we thought this would be really fun because you can make a lot of different things. If you need inspiration, you can try Googling isometric low poly world, which I have Googled up here. But there's a lot of really fun little things that you can do. Very simple shading style as well. Cool. You can make little like animals or dinosaurs or a lot of different stuff. So I think this would be very fun. So this is like the little one that I made today. We have Oski, eating some fish. Um, so I will be stepping through how Blender works with you guys, starting out with a bit of shortcuts because I think that would be the most useful. And we also have the shortcuts on the whiteboard in case I don't have this open. But I'm going to be showing like a demo of how we might be able to start out with it. And I know some of you guys might have some experience with Blender already. So in that case, you can get head start with creating your little isometric world. But for those who haven't used Blender before, here are the main shortcuts. And I think the shortcuts in Blender are very intuitive. A lot of the letters that they start with relate to the actual action that is being done. So some of them here, E is to extrude, G is for grab, aka move, S for scale, R for rotate, A for selecting the all. And you can click X, Y, or Z to operate along an axis, such as scaling along an axis or grabbing along an axis. And at the same time, you can hold Shift and X or Shift and Y, Shift and Z to exclude that axis when you're moving or doing an operation. Shift A is to add an object to your scene, object or light or camera or anything you want to add. Shift D for duplicate, Tab to edit the mesh, X to delete, Command R to make a loop cut. And there's some important tabs that you're going to have as well, such as changing the render mode from EV or cycles. A quick way to explain it is that EV is like instant render. Cycles is like it actually does ray tracing, so it'll take a couple seconds to render. We have modifiers as well. So every object you can add new modifiers such as array, subdivide, doubling, mirroring. It's going to be different kinds of modifiers that you can add. There's also the materials panel, which is going to be a quick and easy way you can add materials. Or if you want to go further into that, you can go to your shader graph, which you can create more advanced materials. But we're not going to cover that too much today. We also have the world. This is most important when you want to change the environment light. So if the background is completely black, there's no lighting in your scene. If the world is completely white, there's going to be a lot of white light in your scene, stuff like that. Now, how exactly do you navigate around a scene? To rotate around your scene, you're going to drag your middle mouse, or if you have a trackpad, you can use two-finger drag. Your zoom is going to scrolling on the middle wheel, or two fingers, that should say two-finger zoom in, zoom out. And then panning is going to be shift while doing the same action as rotating. Shift plus middle mouse or shift plus two-finger drag. Some other interesting things, you have a snap tool that you can toggle on and off. Very useful. And you also have proportional editing. This is like soft selection in Maya. So if you move a vertex, the other vertices around it also move with it. And then some other ones that I didn't mention here, but are on the whiteboard. If you click L, that'll select the linked objects. So if you click on like a vertex and you hit L, all the vertices connected to that vertex will be selected, like the entire object. Command J.
How do I click on a vertex?
I will show you that in the demo. Command J is to join two objects together, and P is to parent. So, we're going to jump into the demo now. So open up your Blender. I'm going to open a new scene here. And we always start with our lovely, lovely little default cube. And we're going to delete it because we hate it. So to delete it is X. So try clicking X.
Why? Why is it
I was
X?
supposed to backspace.
Yeah, X is like, you're going to like X out something.
X is used to cut, guys. Control X is cut.
You can use delete.
Wait, is the delete button and the X key the same thing?
Delete doesn't do anything for me.
Delete. You need delete, not backspace.
Okay, and I made you delete it because
Yeah, we're gonna
it's a joke in the Blender community to always delete the default cube, even though you're going to make a new cube anyways. So the next step is to create a default cube. You do Shift A, and that'll open up your Add panel. So you can go under Mesh, and and then cube to remake the default cube. But this time, it's not the default cube, it's a user-made cube. So the main operations that I talked about, there are scale, rotate, and grab. So we can use S to scale it big. And then because we want this to be a ground, we want it to be a little like shorter in height. So click S again, and then click Z this time. Now you see that it scales only in the Z direction. Very cool. So make it to whatever height you want it to be. And then I'm going to actually jump straight into shading. So down here is your materials panel. In fact, all of these are different panels here. There's very cool ones. But let's start out by going to your materials panel. It's going to look kind of empty like this. Make sure your object is selected. And you're going to click this plus new button. This assigns a principled BSDF. This is like your default material, but it has a lot of customizability to it. So the two main ones we're going to use.
Wait, what did you do? Sorry.
So we went to our shader, our material panel, and then we clicked plus new.
Okay.
Yeah.
My computer's gonna explode.
Yeah, I know. My computer literally like froze.
And you can change the base color. So this is going to depend on what you want your material to look like. But in my case, I'm going to try to recreate the bear scene that I had earlier. So my ground is going to be brown. But you're like, wait, why can't I see any changes right now? In order to look at the color, there's actually these four different things up here. So zooming in, we see there is the wireframe mode. So clicking on that makes it wireframe. There's the solid mode. There's the shader mode, or the preview material. This is like preview. And then this last one is going to be render. So you can actually see your render live in the viewport.
So the preview actually uses something similar to eWeave, but like the lighting is constant and it uses some kind of HDRI so that you have like consistent lighting.
Yeah. And I will mention that when you click one of these for the first time, it might take a second to load all the shaders. But it's good. So your ground should not be shiny, right? So let's make this a little rough. So I'm going to drag this slider all the way up to 1 for roughness. You can experiment with 0 and 1. You see how 0 roughness, super duper shiny. So I don't want that to be shiny, so I'm going to set it to 1. Now, the next thing is that we're going to want to add some kind of terrain to it. We want it to be like bumpy terrain, like a mountain or something like that. So this is the next step. If we click Tab on the object, notice how we get into edit mode. So clicking Tab switches it from object mode to edit mode. In edit mode, you can select vertices. And if you notice these 3 little dinky buttons up here, this is going to be vertex select, edge select, and face select. So clicking those 3 buttons up here can help you select different things on your object. So that's going to be super useful. So the first thing that I want to do here is add more detail to our geometry. Because I want it to be terrain, it should look more like a grid. So we're going to use the loop cut tool, which is Command R. And it'll show us a line that goes through. But we want a lot of them, so we're going to scroll upwards, and scrolling will let you add more loop cuts. So I'm going to go somewhere around like this much. I'm just going to eyeball it. And then instead of moving it around to slide it, you can just right-click, which will add it to its default position. So Command R, scroll upwards, and then right-click. Yeah, click it and then right-click. So try doing that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. And then the next thing that I want you guys to do is to change the color of this top. So we're going to be in vertex mode right now, and go to a side view. And by going to side view, you can click one of these axes on the top right here. So let's say I click on the negative y, it'll snap to the side. And you can simply exit this by rotating. So click on this green negative y. Now, if you go into wireframe, you should be able to select everything on this top. So the wireframe is up here.
It exploded my blender.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna downgrade to 3.5.
Doesn't that make it worse? Anywho, now that we've selected all the top faces, we can give it a new material. So if we go back to our materials panel on the right side, we can actually click this plus button and assign another material to this object. So I'm going to click new again. And this time, let's give it like a grassy green. And up the roughness. I'm just going to go ahead and rename these materials by double clicking and then typing into it. Grass, green, ground brown. Yeah, but notice that even though I added this new material, nothing changes. Like it's still all brown. So what we have to do is with our thing selected, with our top selected, select the material that you want to add and click assign. So this is the assign button right here that you want to click. When you click on it, it turns green.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait,
Cool.
what happens if he assigns a material to a single vertex?
Well, I don't think it'll do anything, but let's try it. Assign. Yeah, so assign only works when you have a face selected. So like
Wait,
that.
I don't have any faces. Wait, does it automatically select the face when you select the vertices? Oh.
Yeah. So there we have a basic terrain, but we want it to look a little more random than this. A flat terrain kind of defeats the purpose of adding all this vertices. So the next thing I want to show you guys is this button on the top, proportional editing. It's up here. When you click on it, notice how it toggles it on and off.
What's that?
That's the proportional editing.
Yeah, but what button is that?
It's at the very top.
Oh.
And now, nothing looks really different, but if you click G, like the grab button, and you can scroll to change the size of the proportion. Now, specifically for this, I would recommend only proportionally editing vertically along the z-axis, so that it could be like a perfect square. So just to recap, turn proportional editing on with the button at the top. Click on the vertex you want to move, hit G, scroll to adjust the size, and then move vertically using Z. So I kind of want it to look like a river, so I'm going to raise the edges of my mesh. And then decrease the middles of the mesh. Like so. Any questions so far? All good? Okay. So the next thing that I want to do, oh, and by the way, you can click tab at any time to exit edit mode. The next thing I want to do is add some water to it, so it's like a flowing river. So I'm going to exit out of edit mode and go to object mode. So on the top left, you see it says object mode now. And I'm going to do Shift A to add a new object. Select cube, and then shape it to be something that looks like a river. So you don't forget G for grab, S to scale. And you can shape it out, move it around. cool. It kind of looks like a river shape now. Go ahead and add a blue material to that. And then I'm going to decrease the roughness so that it's kind of reflective. Now, because I don't like how smooth the river is, I'm going to add loop cuts again. So Command R for loop cuts. And then I'm going to add small little distortions so that it looks like there's kind of movement in the water. Just so that it doesn't look perfect. Just tiny ones. Now it looks kind of cool, right? Very cool, very cool. Very demure, very mindful.
Very demure, very
Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create some trees. So the goal for the trees is so that we can learn how to join objects and have a single mesh with multiple things in it. So let's add some trees. Mesh, cube, can move it around, scale it, scale, that's the scale. This is going to be our little base of the tree. And then this time, let's use the duplicate tool, which is Shift D. Scale it to be bigger. And then go into edit mode. Select the top. Scale it to 0. Oh, we can turn off proportional editing. You can click S and then 0 to set the scale to 0 as well. This time, I'm going to duplicate this one more time and then move it upwards. And then lastly, I'm going to rotate the top by 45 degrees. So I'm going to give you guys a second to try to replicate that. And I'll walk around with it.
Rain. I had to download 3.5 because my bitchin' materials were fucking
No, not again. I clicked the freaking materials button.
up. That's why I downloaded 3.5, bro.
Okay.
Your materials weren't working at mine are.
You don't have to go back, whoops.
Great. What is the focus button?
The focus button is going to be backtick view selected.
What's backtick?
Backtick is like the one on the top.
Tilde.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
different.
tilde.
Why are there only 2 buttons for that?
Oh, it's
Two
just
buttons
backtick
instead of
3.
one.
Or if you have a number pad, it's number pad period.
Well, I don't have
But my Mac doesn't have a number pad. So
How do I zoom out of this? I cannot zoom out.
you can zoom out by like 2 fingers.
I am. Oh. I am.
Another thing you can do is
So Rain, we want this 24 hours everything music, right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna do this in Blender or?
No, just kidding. Let's do it in mine. Cool. Okay, so if you got to this step, which I don't think most people are,
What do you mean?
you can select all of your entire tree and then do Command J to join it into be one object.
Oh, I need to make the water.
Now we have a tree.
Wait, for the water, does he do a plane or what?
I used a just a rectangle cube, a cube. Yes, non-default cube. I'm just gonna go ahead and move these trees around.
Oh,
and duplicate them using Shift D, rotating them a bit.
How do you
Wait, how do you like stretch it along the X or Y axes?
You click S to scale, and then click X or Y or Z.
Oh my god, I
How
gotta
do you
kill
like
him.
shift along a particular axis and not like blah blah blah?
If you do like G and then you press like X, Y, or Z, then you just move it along that.
Oh, okay. Well, what about like rotating?
R, X, R, Y, R.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty neat,
And
right?
if you shift, you can do it along a plane to extrude
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Nope, not S. Not R, G.
Wait, how do you do all the edge loops again?
Control R, Command R.
Command R. Command R. Bitches are Command R.
Press G or something.
Keep thinking G. I keep forgetting that G is to move the object.
Cool, thank you. Boom. You're done.
Yo, mama.
What about my mom?
I love
My mom.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't care about your mom.
Whoa. Okay. So the last thing.
No, no.
Isn't it like a big Shift D or something?
My computer's gonna crash.
Yeah, PC.
She looks so
What if
adorable.
it crashed?
The last thing that I will do is make a little butterfly. Because, yeah. So I'm going to make a little plane.
Oh, with the bird.
This is a little plane. And I'm going to want to use this to show you guys the mirror modifier. Because I think modifiers are really cool. So we have a plane. And in order to mirror half of it to the other side, we're going to actually split this mesh in half by creating a loop cut through the center and deleting half of it. So select half of it and click delete vertex, which is the X button for delete. So notice how I originally had a plane. I made a edge loop at this center. And you can do it at the center by Command R, click, and then right click to do it at the default center. Oh, combining is Command J for join. Okay. Now my butterfly, I delete half of it. And then notice how the pivot point, which is the orange thing, is in the center over to the side. We're going to go to our modifiers tab. Pay attention. Modifiers tab. Modifiers tab. This is the modifiers tab. It looks like a wrench, right?
Yes.
This will allow you to add modifiers. These are like operations. So if you go to generate and go to mirror, voila. It mirrors one side across its axis onto the other side. Now, if you edit this, notice how it operates it on both sides. So we're going to use this to model a butterfly. So I'm going to go into top view because this is a flat object, and then do my best to remember what butterflies look like. Nope.
That's your fault. You have problems.
Modifier is actually kind of cool.
Oh.
Delete the vertices first before I mirror. Do that, right?
Is there a more like concrete way of like kind of
What?
adjusting?
Shift D is edge, or no. There's edge slide and then there's vertex.
You know, S
Or I just made a random vertex.
And then
Shift
Shift D is to duplicate a vertex. You can subdivide a plane to also make a vertex. You can
No, I mean like moving controls. Like
And then you
have
can
like a,
add clipping
like a gizmo. How do you get a gizmo?
it's a gizmo.
or like
so that it doesn't go past.
Yeah.
No, you can't. It's not. It's a different software.
no, I think
there
you
it
can.
is.
Yeah.
Wait,
Ah.
how do you toggle this gizmo and trapeze?
I'm pretty sure this is what butterflies look like, right? No?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
it
not.
looks like a-
Yeah.
Wait, there's a tail. You need a tail.
Butterflies have tails?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably not. It's not guaranteed to see it though. It's look like a bee.
The butterfly has like a tiny tail.
Okay. I don't know what butterflies look like.
That's why we
Usually
use
you should just see the wing.
No, where's the tail?
You don't see it.
Okay, also, y'all lied. This does not look like a
Look at the
butterfly.
Look at the second
different
picture. Look
kind
at the
of
second picture.
butterfly.
Yeah.
Like the origami one.
Oh,
Like
okay,
the
okay.
origami one.
Well, because oh, wait, you're so right.
Like one face.
Okay. I think
Go to alpha to make like a clear like looking lake, or like how do you make a
Wait, how do I have like, you know how Z, when I click like the top down view, it's like, how do I rotate the top down?
Wait, what? Do right click. Oh, it's right click.
the question was how do you make clear things? I think clear things are a little more difficult in Eevee. You'd have to play with the shader.
water? Because right now I just crank the
Wait,
buttons so
how do you go on top down view and like look at it from a different direction?
Oh, you can do that. There's definitely a way, but I don't recommend it.
What exactly?
To like rotate this view 90 degrees.
Grab this little thing and then like rotate it yourself, but it's not like
That's
order.
still negative y. Like, what do you mean rotate the view?
Ah, damn
This
it.
like
My mirror
rotate this
broke.
entire camera 90 degrees.
Oh. That's, yeah, no, that's.
I would not recommend it. I'm sure there's a way to do it using maybe like.
No, you have to like go into the physical camera.
Okay, this is how you do it. Never mind. That's 3D cursor. Yeah, I don't recommend it.
There's view lock. So if you lock the 3D cursor, I think, and then rotate it.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never done that before.
I don't see why you would need to do that.
No, because I put my edge loop in the wrong location and I want it to be.
Okay.
You can select the edge loop and then you like right click and then you can dissolve it.
With my
You can
mirror.
also just undo. There is a Control Z feature.
So I'm gonna extrude this. I'm extruding this. And then I'm gonna give it some material. What color are butterflies? Orange.
Your mama's orange.
That's right.
Oh, what do you mean?
I'm gonna go into wireframe mode and select all the faces that look like they should be black.
Your Minecraft chunk.
And I will assign them to a new black material.
I'm scared.
Maya all over again. It is so painful.
I'm scared.
This is a really bad butterfly.
I'm gonna add monkey trees.
You can make
Oh my god. I watched
top
the
wing
video of
larger
somebody doing
and the
that exactly.
bottom wing smaller.
Yeah, they were making their bushes.
True.
Narrower. And then make the bottom one more like a sub one instead of like
Yeah, but what axis is that? It's not
Yeah, that's
Your mama's
Wait,
that's.
the mirror modifier doesn't duplicate edge loops.
like the top wing looks a little bit off turn.
It's not ready to click.
But you have to apply it.
Oh, I clicked the add mod. Oh, it just doesn't show up on the other side?
Okay. My beautiful butterfly. I'm gonna make it small with S.
monkey head onto like.
Can you
So
make
probably want to make it delete this way.
Make it what?
fence?
Yeah. Let me do that.
So since it's actually
Okay, this butterfly is gonna wait, if you grab in orthographic top down mode, is this just like auto lock it?
Woo! A beautiful butterfly.
Oh, is it like these stairs or something?
One singular tree. That's all I'm gonna make. One tree. Big tree.
Oh, we love prefix modifier.
Okay. Yeah, modifiers are beautiful, guys. I love modifiers. In fact, there are other cool modifiers such as array. Look, I can make a lot of butterflies. But I will not do that. Yeah. There's a lot of really cool ones that I can't go over now, but yeah. Every single modifier explained in 5 minutes. YouTube tutorial. That is definitely a tutorial that I've watched. Yeah. Okay, so now this is the last thing I wanted to do. I guess I wanted to show you guys how the camera works actually. So this camera button is really cool. If you click this camera button on the right side, you can snap to the camera view. So there's a camera button right here to snap to the camera view. Wait guys, this is important, this is important. Camera view, you click to this, you can go to camera view. And there's a little arrow here that you can click to open this. And click lock to camera to view. Where? Click this toggle. It's also the N key to open and show this panel. And yeah.
So N stand for the camera.
N, huh?
N stand for the camera.
No, N stands for like opening this toolbar.
Which is for.
This allows you to click the lock camera to view, which means if you're going to rotate, it'll lock the camera to your rotation. Whereas if this is unchecked, when you rotate, it exits camera view. So click on the camera button. Click N to show this toolbar. And then click camera to view so that when you rotate, your camera follows your view. How do you get out of camera view? You click the camera button.
Where?
This is the camera button right here.
Ah!
What color you gonna put on the tree?
Suzanne? Why does it say Suzanne?
Cool.
This is what I want to do. I need to do this.
Okay. How do I solidify my
Okay.
So if you want to solidify your camera or something, I don't know what you asked, then you click camera to view again. And now if you rotate, your camera will stay there.
How do you group two objects together?
Command J for join.
Command J.
Or if you want to parent it instead, it's going to be the P key.
But they're not joining. Command J is not working.
I can also add graph,
Command J.
because then I have to make it here so rotation goes to so much like
Okay,
I can't remember all these buttons.
so let's go into render view. Let's go into render view. Let's go into render view, guys. Once you go into render view, you can see it looks like shit. The reason why is because there is no lights in your scene. So click on this world button on the right side. Pay attention, guys. This is a world button. You can change the world with just this one button. And then click color and set it to like white or something. Or like, maybe not too bright. And then you can make it like yellow or green or purple. In my case, I'm gonna get it a little bit of like a yellowish color.
So it's like ambient light.
Yeah, this is your environment light. So your world is gonna be surrounded by this color of light. So it's pretty useful. Actually, I like this like bluish color just to make it look kind of like the sky. Yeah. So that's going to be your world button. Very, very, very nice. Very cool. Can increase the strength of that too. Okay, next thing, super important. There's going to be this render button on the right side. Right here, render button. This is one of the pages on your toolbar, render. Right here, render. If you click on this, you get render settings, such as how many samples to render it at. Or if you're gonna enable ray tracing. In this case, always enable ray tracing. Look, there's such a big difference. And it's still instant because it's Eevee. So enable ray tracing. Cool. And that's all you really need to do here. Okay, that's all you need to do here. Yes, it's screen space reflections if you're using Blender 3.0. I don't know why they changed it, but ray tracing sounds cooler. Okay, the next thing you want to do is add some depth of field. I don't think depth of field exists in 3.0, but for 4.0 and above, if you click on your camera in the hierarchy, select your camera, you should get a camera page next to like where the materials button usually is. Here you can add the depth of field to your camera. Set the f-stop to something like 0.4, which is very small. Now your butterfly is kind of blurry, but we want the butterfly to be in view. You have to select the camera to see this camera button, by the way. So select your camera in the hierarchy, and then select camera.
Well, is it data?
No, data.
Data?
How's the camera selected?
Oh yeah, it is data. You're right.
Oh, you have like the depth of focus blur shit.
Yes. Now decrease f-stop to 0.4, or maybe even lower, 0.3. And then click on the focus on object and focus on your butterfly. Wow, now the butterfly is in focus. I'm going to increase the f-stop, that's too much. So this is a very easy way to get black background blur, which is super cool. And now, if everything looks good, we can render. So go to render on the top left and click render image. The shortcut is F12. And it takes like 0 seconds to render. Woo! And there you have it. There you have your render.
IPR is pretty bad, actually.
So the rest of the time is going to be make your own world. Do whatever you want.
Rain, you wanna see what I have?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know, right?
A monkey. Why do you have a monkey?
Oh, the render button. Let's not do that. Oh god.
What'd you make?
Oh, okay.
This is literally the classroom. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Ah, where are the people?
Oh, I'm gonna end the screen recording. Thank you guys for listening.